Hey, good evening, family. Hope everybody had a great business spotlight on today. Katelyn Foster. She is a real estate agent from Beachy Beach Realty. And so we want to bring her on today to give us a different perspective and show us everything she's got going on with real estate. And we just want to, bring her perspective into this. Kind of the market's in disarray right now. But we want to have her come in and shed some light on what she's got going on and what to expect from the market coming soon. So we're going to invite her on. Um, See what she has to say. Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How you doing?
Pretty good.
That's good. That's good. I haven't seen you about 5, 6 years. Been a long time. Long time.
It's been at least five. That's crazy.
Yeah, it don't feel like it, but I mean, you graduate, you move, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're gonna dive right in. I don't want to hold you too long. I know you're busy. So, first thing I want to do is I want to ask you for the people, what is your name?
Katelyn Foster.
Cool. 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 All right. Tell us about yourself.
Um, well, I grew up in Mariana, went to Mariana High School, graduated from Chipola, got my degree, then
Nice.
moved to Panama City to go to FSU PC, got my bachelor's there, started my master's, and then took a little break to start my real estate career. It's kind of where I'm at right now.
Huh. Okay. Okay. What did you get? What's your degree? What are your degrees in?
Communication.
And what is it?
Communication.
Communication. Wow. How does that apply to real estate? I mean, how'd that happen?
It's a lot of writing and public speaking.
Hmm.
So just the creative aspects I kind of transferred into my real estate career.
Hmm.
I actually like writing, so I wanted to strengthen that. And then after leasing apartments, I kind of shifted and it all kind of came together. So
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Liking writing. You ain't. That ain't. You always like writing. So I'm gonna give you that
yeah,
one.
I don't
That
like
ain't changed.
math, but
Yeah. You
writing
ain't
is
like
good.
math, but writing you write all day long. That ain't changed. I see. Okay. That's pretty cool. Okay. So my next question is, well, how did you already know that you want to be a real estate agent? I mean, was that your end goal, or how did that transition happen from going communications to being in real estate?
Well, I got a job at two different apartment communities. I'd work on either property, just leasing apartments, really learning about the housing industry.
Hmm.
And I just wasn't happy with that. I loved it and I loved the people that I worked with, but I knew it
Sure.
wasn't a long-term goal to move up the management side of that. And that's really your option.
Right, right, right.
So I think my mom had an employee who was getting her real estate license, and I was like, why don't I give that a shot? I can be creative. I kind of get to work for myself. You get to make your own schedule, which does not mean you work less. You work more, you
Right,
just different hours.
right,
So
right, right.
that's kind of how that began. And then just kind of stuck with it and figured out I really love it. So,
Hmm. Okay, okay. I mean, that opens a whole nother can of worms. I mean, like you said, working for yourself, working a different amount of hours, because it looks easy. I mean, they make it look easy, but I'm sure it's a lot of phone calls,
it's
early
not
mornings, late
easy.
nights. Man, it's a lot involved with that, I'm sure.
Yep.
So I want to ask you next, what's the name of your business?
Well, I work for Beachy Beach Real Estate. I'm not
Right.
on a team or anything, so I'm just a realtor for them.
Okay.
So most of my stuff you just see Katelyn Foster, realtor, and then my
Okay.
designations. I've gotten a couple designations, which
Nice,
is
nice,
exciting at this point. And then
nice.
um, just trying to strengthen my reputation since I'm so new. I need to seem as educated as
Right,
possible.
right,
So
right,
I've just been killing it in that realm, trying to learn everything I can. But
right.
everything I do is under Beachy Beach. So.
Gotcha. I'm gonna hit that question on knowledge, but before I do that, I want to ask you, what's the dynamic working under them but not really for them? How does that work?
It's different than I expected. You have a ton of freedom to do things pretty much any way you want as long as you stay within certain guidelines. So we have branding guidelines, we have, of course, legal things that we have to follow. So
Of
they're there
course.
for support, but we are also completely in charge of generating our own business and figuring out how we want to do business, figuring
Wow.
out what ideal customer would I like to help, what area do I want to work in, what, you know, who do I really want to be? You kind of have to decide that. So you
Wow.
get backing of a company with a great reputation, but
Mhm.
you have to make your own name.
Okay, okay, okay. And from a, I mean, from an organizational standpoint, do you have to file like your own? I mean, you're independent, right? So you have to file your own like LLC, or how does that work with
Yeah.
that?
So different agents choose different structures. Some people want to incorporate. I chose an LLC just
Right,
for reasons. I'm learning more about that too, with it only being
right,
my second year.
right.
But yeah, so basically every time I do work or get paid or anything, it comes from the
Mhm.
brokerage to me, and then I have to sort all that out. So
Gotcha, gotcha. I mean, it's complicated. It sounds like there's so much to it, honestly. But going back to the knowledge, because you said that you have to constantly learn. Being new to it, you want to seem as educated as possible because you want people to go with you and feel
yeah.
comfortable, working with you. So how does that look from a educational standpoint? Constantly trying to educate yourself on the market, and I mean, what are you doing with that?
Well, it's tough to stay on top of everything because things have changed so rapidly. I
Right.
came in on the tail end of a crazy market,
Yeah.
a market where houses were on the market for 2 or 3 days,
Right.
especially if they're in the $200,000 range or under 300,
Yeah.
maybe like two, maybe up to 5 days. I mean, it was absolutely different than I expected it to be. And so
Mhm.
I've slowly seen that timeline stretch out to now we're 30 days on the market and it's taking
Right.
a little bit longer and rates are going up, so staying on top of that, understanding how much inventory we have, understanding how many days on market is normal so you can tell your sellers there's nothing wrong with your house, the market is just slowed down. So
Right.
you have to know everything you can so you can inform your buyers, inform your sellers. And, if you want to work with certain groups, I have my military relocation professional
Nice.
designation and
Hmm.
Florida military specialist. So we're right near Tyndall. I live 10 minutes from Tyndall Air Force Base.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I live in Callaway, which is pretty big for military.
Right.
So, getting those designations to serve those communities too is important because
Hmm.
there's little things that are different with military, especially with VA loans and all that.
Right.
So,
Right. Okay. How do you get those designations? I mean, that's a big deal.
there's a couple ways. I think they're offered online. I'm not an online learner. I
Okay.
just can't, I don't learn like that. I like to be in a classroom and have somebody talk to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a part of CPAR, which is our realtor, it's our MLS association here.
Okay.
So basically, it's the Central Panhandle Association of Realtors, and
Mhm.
they put on classes, they have events, they have all kinds of stuff. It's where we get our MLS feed. So anytime I go to look up houses, it's
Mhm.
all other members of CPAR.
Gotcha.
So they offer some of them for free, some of them you have to pay for. These weren't super expensive, but some of them are $2,000 a class, just depending on how in depth you want to
Gotcha.
go and what
Mhm.
industry you're getting into.
Right.
Commercial classes are a lot more expensive than residential. So,
Hmm. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I know that can be tough, especially like I said, trying to find time to find those houses on the market while still trying to educate yourself because it's a ever evolving market. I know that's tough, so I really do appreciate that.
yeah.
So you've already spoke to what services you offer, but what areas do you service?
Really, anywhere in the Panama City area, Panama City Beach. I really like working out on the beach,
Mhm.
but I also love Callaway. They're just two very different dynamics. I also have two listings in Mariana right now, which I wasn't really planning on, but you have a family friend and just
Okay.
wonderful person that you want to do business with.
Yeah, of
So
course.
sometimes you make that drive.
Right.
So
Hmm. Okay, okay. So you're saying Panhandle within what radius do you think?
Um, I mean, I would drive if, somebody wanted to go see something in Pensacola. I have
Hmm.
access to that. I have access to, the Santa Rosa, Destin area, really
Nice.
anywhere, but primarily like Panama City Beach to Callaway.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, okay, okay. So not too bad. Not too bad. I'm
Yeah.
sure your hands are full, right there on the beach. Okay, so next question, and then we kind of hit this a little bit, but more so, what inspired you to take on real estate? I know you spoke a little bit about, like, I mean, what what really inspired you to, keep going with it though?
Well, I've always been creative and I've always liked just kind of making things. I'm not good at choosing one thing and going with it.
Hmm.
Like, I don't even have just one job now. I'm a realtor, but I'm also the marketing director for a tech startup. So,
Nice.
like, I can't just wear one hat. I can't just do one thing.
Right.
So,
Right.
once I got into real estate and I figured I could do that and do freelance work and do all these other things, it just became really fulfilling.
Hmm.
Um, I have a great brokerage. I have all the support. My broker sat down with me every single day for months to walk through contracts and all the things I needed to do, and that motivated me to keep going.
Hmm.
The creativity definitely helped me keep going. Figuring out how to do my marketing, what's important, learning is really fun for me. So that
Hmm.
also kept me in it. And I got a real estate coach, and my real estate coach happens to be the founder of the tech startup.
Oh,
So
nice.
everything I do
Nice.
is real estate related. It's just
Nice.
different facets of the industry.
Dang, okay, I'll tell you, you opening so much
Yeah,
about,
I mean, no realtor has one job. I promise. If you find a realtor with one job, it's because they've been at it for 10 or 20 years. I mean,
right,
I met
right.
somebody last night that's been doing this for 30 years. So, but a lot of people start out and they do two or three things until it gets stable, or they do it just for fun.
Right. And I mean, I want to say one thing. I mean, I know it's got to be a great feeling to get in it and things, move in the right direction. You got a great support system. You got a coach. You got everything seems to be coming together the right way. That's got to be a great feeling. You finally found your niche. I mean, how does that feel?
Yeah, it definitely is. It feels like I chose the best possible career for myself because there is so much like flexibility.
Right.
I don't have to do all the things I don't want to do. I can kind of tailor my career to do the things that make me the happiest. And
Yeah.
that's what's exciting to me. Not every career is like that. A normal
True.
9 to 5 is not always like that. And
Yeah.
with this, I mean, I still, like I said, I still work over my 40 hours, but I can work during the day and then take a couple hours and maybe just knock some stuff out 8 to 10. That really
Right.
works out for me. So I can kind of cut things up and work with my lifestyle a little bit easier. So it's perfect. I love it. It's
That's super
hard. It's
nice.
extremely difficult some days, but it's worth it.
Of course, of course, of course. And I want to hear one more thing you said. You talked about having a coach because
Yeah.
I'm a big advocate of that right now. I'm telling you, getting a mentor, having a coach. I mean, how has that changed your life, having a coach?
Well, it's definitely changed it for the better. I can't say I always like what he has to say because he's always right and he's always pushing me out of my comfort zones
Yeah,
and I hate it, but I
yeah.
know it's important. He actually started this, it's a social media scheduling tool
Hmm.
for realtors, for any industry, but it's great for realtors.
Of
And the
course.
whole point is that I'm not a social media person, he's not either, but we have to be in this
Yep,
business.
yep.
So scheduling it, staying consistent, that's a big part of my coaching that I've learned.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, you also have to be in front of the camera. And that
Yeah.
is probably my least favorite place to be.
Oh, I know.
It's not
I know.
natural for me to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, even in school, I always had my nose in a book. I just
Always.
wasn't social like that. So
Hmm.
it's helped force me out of my comfort zone in very productive ways. It's always had a payoff. I mean, the consistency thing, I did open houses consistently, and then I finally started getting buyers from that. I
Nice.
marketed consistently. I finally started getting offers on my properties.
Right.
So it pays off. It just, you have to be okay with not being right about everything, and you have to
Yep.
be okay with just relinquishing control, letting someone who is a little bit more knowledgeable than you tell you kind of where you need to go.
Right. And I'm telling you, accountability is the word. Accountability. They hold you accountable. It
Fun.
sucks. It sucks. It sucks. Let's be honest. It
Yeah.
sucks because it makes you uncomfortable. But especially a person like you, I know that was super reserved and was behind the scenes. But you picked up. You're in the field right now. You're in front of people almost 24/7. I mean, you're making phone calls. You're in their faces. I mean, you're doing it. But I see the growth. I see it already. I
Yeah.
mean, you're doing the thing. I see that. But again, that all goes back to being outside your comfort zone and having that person to push you, push
Yeah.
you, push you, push you. So that's good. I'm really glad to hear that, honestly. So the next question is, What should we look forward to you moving forward?
It's a hard question. Because I don't really have just one line in the sea right now. I mean,
Tell us it all. Come on, give it to us.
I really want to grow as a realtor. I want to, continue to expand just my knowledge. I want
Mhm.
to move some of my business a little bit more out to the beach, learn more about condos and short-term rentals and investment property because that's really interesting to me. I sold my
Of
first
course.
investment property, my second sale, and after learning
Nice.
about ROI and cap rates and all that, I just
Hmm.
got super excited. And aside from that, long-term goal, I'd love to get into commercial real estate.
Hmm.
There's just so much to that. You basically have to kind of relearn because it's just so completely different than residential,
Hmm.
but it's exciting. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that field right now for sure, especially in Panama City. And then I guess with Social Stack Pro, that's another area I'm really growing in. I mean, I've kind of taught myself a lot of marketing stuff. It's kind
Hmm.
of just me and David working together every day. We're like the only two people there, and we're building this whole, social media tool. And now we have a CRM with email automation.
Nice.
And so we're
Nice.
trying to help other realtors too.
Right.
So kind of growing in all three directions right now. So
Hmm.
I guess we'll see kind of where I end up.
I mean,
But
I get it, but again, though, it has a foundational purpose, though. I mean, there's a purpose, and it all branches from that purpose into these three different ways, and I think that's really big, especially to other entrepreneurs that we may talk to, because I have three three businesses, and then I work full time, but
yeah,
realistically, they all have a foundational purpose, and they all
yes,
branch out. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
So that's big. We're not saying go and just bump your head and do the random things. Like, no, find out what your purpose is, or try to at least find out what your purpose is, and then watch how God uses that to branch you out in different areas.
yeah,
Because I
absolutely.
mean, it's hard to make it nowadays doing one job. It's hard, but it's easier when you have multiple jobs and things you like. And
That's true.
that's what I'll say about that.
That's
So next question: what is a one piece of advice you would give to a new small business owner?
um, be consistent. Whatever you choose to do, be consistent. Like you said, talking about like different ventures that all stem from one foundation or one
Mhm.
purpose, you can do that. Just be consistent. Find your
Right.
thing, go with it. Be consistent. If you do your marketing, be consistent with it.
Mhm.
It's going to be hard to hold yourself accountable. It's not always
Right.
fun, but you
Right.
figure out where your weaknesses are and you find a tool or something to help you around it. And I mean, honestly, consistency pays
Wow.
off.
Wow.
Consistency really pays off.
You spoke.
I didn't believe that as much. And then my real estate coach, he gave me a couple areas I need to be more consistent in, and my broker gave me areas I need to be more consistent in,
Mhm.
and it's actually helped. You don't see the results, you kind of just chip away at it day by day by day, and then you look back and you're like, we just created this entirely new thing that didn't exist a month ago because we
Right.
came in here and worked at it.
Right.
So even if
Man.
it's an hour a day doing something that you struggle to be consistent at,
Mhm.
you gotta start.
Man. I'm telling you, you speaking the word there. Just getting started, getting out there, just doing it one day at a time. 'Cause a lot of times, especially from where we're from, everybody wants that hot and ready. Uh, I'll call it a blessing. Something they want a hot and ready one that happens overnight, and that's not how it
That does not
happens.
exist. That
It does.
literally is not real. In real estate, we call that the bright and shiny.
Yeah.
That does not exist. Like the bright and
Right.
shiny and owning your own business. And
Yep.
you see these like social media influencers and you see these people on TikTok that are blowing up and have
Right.
millions and millions of likes and followers. And they're like, I work, 3 days a week and I make all this money. That
Exactly.
is not reasonable at this point in the game. You might get to that in the future. I hope
Correct.
everyone has that. I hope everyone achieves what they want to
Exactly.
achieve. But if you aren't consistent, never gonna happen.
Right. I mean, one of my greatest mentors right now, I mean, he started back in the 80s, 90s, and he might work a few hours, an hour a day now, but it
Yeah.
started way back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It started
back then, probably
30,
work
40
60 or
years
70
ago.
hours.
Right. You know, he's
Yeah.
working his tail off back then, and it took time over these years to now. He's a multimillionaire, man. That guy, he makes crazy money. And there are other mentors that I have the same thing. It took them working those long hours day in and day out, getting tired of, going to work for someone else, but they had to work harder for themselves. And it just, all of that, it boils down to consistency, like you said, consistency. Staying at it, not giving up. It may be slow at first. It may be hard at first. And especially being accountable is tough. But eventually you get to a comfortable place where you want to be. And that's where you get more motivation. But you got to just, I like to say, create your own motivation until you can find it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, that's
Um,
true because I don't wake up every day motivated. I think anyone does. If they do, I want to know what the secret is because I have not found it. But I mean, it's like going to the gym. I'm a lot more
right,
into fitness now than I used to be, and I typically don't want to go. I just have to force myself to go, and then
right.
consistency with that. It all pays off if like you said, create your motivation.
Wow.
It's
I'm
just,
telling
I
you.
think some people think that business owners that were that successful just want to do this all the time.
Right.
Not necessarily. I'd love to
Nope.
sleep in. I'd love to relax. I'd love to take, every weekend, all weekend off, but I've
Right.
got houses. I've got work to do. I've got things that are important that are going to better me as a person.
Right. That's big. So I got one last question, but I want to ask you this instead. Um, have you considered being a coach, coaching people, that want to come into this field?
Maybe one day,
Mm,
but right now I really just want to learn.
right.
I feel like I have my strengths in some areas, and that's kind of where I do my freelance stuff with teaching people about marketing, a little bit of design, stuff like that.
Nice.
But as far as real estate, I would want to wait until I was in it at least 5 or 10 years just to be sure I had experienced a lot more. I'm
Hmm.
still where every single deal is completely different.
Right.
I'm learning every single day. Every single deal I do
Hmm.
is 100% different from the last one I did.
Right.
So maybe in the future, because I do like helping people kind of achieve their goals,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I really need to put myself through it and fully practice what I preach for at
Yeah.
least 5 to 10 before I
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
give back in that way.
Yeah. And I mean, I know you're only in year two. I know you got a lot to learn, but I know what you're capable of. I know your potential. I know you're totally able to do that one day. And there are plenty of people, our age and lower, or older that, want someone to step in and show them the way. So I know that you'll do. I know you'll do great things. I know you will. So my last question is how can people contact you, for your business?
I would say text is probably best.
Mhm.
I can give you like my phone number, my email to post and everything.
Of
I
course.
prefer text or email. Just I like to have everything in writing. So if I ever miss a small detail, I want to be able to go
Right.
back and make sure I get every single detail of what you want or what you need.
Right.
And then, people are more than welcome to call me too. Just make sure you leave a voicemail in case I'm in a meeting or I'm showing or something like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, really anything,
Cool.
anything. I
Cool.
don't really
Cool.
have a preference. So
Okay. Yeah, I'll take down information and we'll get that posted. But I really appreciate it. I thank you a lot. So I know you're doing great things. I see what you're doing. You're really killing it right now. You're killing it, and I know you're only gonna go higher. So I really appreciate your time. I thank you. I thank you again. I really miss you, of course.
yeah,
Like I said, 5 years is crazy. But yeah, it's won't be the last time. It's won't be the last time. You'll keep us updated on everything you have going on. But thank you. Really appreciate it.
yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. I've been seeing what you've been doing over the past couple years too, and you definitely seem like you're making some moves and
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
exciting.
lot. It's a lot. So
It's
yeah,
exciting to see people you graduate with doing all these things and fulfilling their dreams. Like anytime I see someone that graduated with us, like post something about their business or their work, I repost
man,
it.
I'm
I
all in.
repost it, I like it, I comment it, I share
Yeah,
it, whatever
yeah.
I can do to help you out because it's so exciting to see good things happen to good people.
Right,
So,
and that's love. That's love. And I had nothing but love for my class. I'm telling you, because I want to see us be great. 'Cause we had a great class. We had so much potential, and everybody's taking their own paths. But I'm telling you, to really see people out there killing the game, man,
yeah.
you can't help but love to see it. So yeah, we appreciate it again. I mean, thank you for taking time out your busy schedule to come on and bless us with some knowledge, some understanding, some wisdom. And
Yeah.
yeah, Katie Foster, Beachy Beach Real Estate. And if you want to hit her up, we're gonna get the information for all your residential, hopefully commercial pretty soon,
Hopefully.
um, marketing, your digital marketing, all of that stuff, anything you need. I'm sure she has more than enough knowledge, or if she doesn't have it, she can direct you the way you need to go. So thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
All right, peace.
Bye.